Falcon fans, Falcon fans, Falcon fans. And of course, good old Falcon fan. Wake up! Rise up with your favorite crew here. One time for the fan. Episode 227, man. We are up there. Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Facebook, YouTube. Hell, we're in space. We are out there. So anybody here checking in, big shout out to you all. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Tag your Falcons friends. Tell your Falcons family. Breakfast with One Time for the Fan is back. You know, we missed last week's episode, but we are here again. Talking One Time for the Fan, talking Falcons football with you all. T-Will.
Yes, sir. What up,
Dad? You, sir, man. How is everything going? Last time we talked, we had A1 Forever on the podcast. And you know, when you got A1 Forever on the podcast, it's going to be an explosive show.
Yeah,
he definitely talks the talk when it comes to being a podcaster here in the Falcons community. Also talking Hawks. Also probably catch him talking Braves. A1 is doing big things over there. So big shout out to him.
Yeah,
and Terry,
big
shout out to you too as well. How you been, man?
Hey, good, man. Hey, been itching to get back after it, man. I felt kind of like weird Wednesday night when there was no show. I was like, so yeah, man. Looking forward to getting into it. Hey, I missed the audience, man. I missed our fans of the show and Falcons fans in general. So I'm looking forward to getting after it, man. Deshaun chose a good one this morning. Good morning, Deshaun. Good morning, Deke. Good morning, Miss Auntie Pam. And
shout out to everybody.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody. That's a good one, Jack. That is a good one.
Deshaun, you know, it was tough last episode getting to all the comments because we had a lot of people in here too as well checking in for our show with A1 Forever. We love getting to all the comments. We got a quick morning show for you all. I got some stuff to go do today, so I want to make sure I get there on time and. No golf, so don't worry. But we got some things to take care of today. So big shout out to everybody who's in here talking Falcons football with us this morning. Deshaun's in the chat. What's up, one timer? How many head coaches the Falcons had from 1966 to 2006? Yeet, get some. And I want to give a shout out to Deshaun because Deshaun realized we're close to 1,000 on subscribers.
1,000.
But Deshaun has been here since around maybe 50, 60 subscribers when we first started. So now that we're less than 50 subscribers away from 1,000. I'm sorry, 1,000 subscribers.
Marcus Deke.
We got to remember when we say 1,000, wow, we got to go ahead and drop that wow. But Deshaun has been with us since around less than 100 subscribers. But every show, Deshaun comes in here to stomp us with music trivia. But recently, Deshaun has been changing it up. He's been asking some Falcon related trivia in the chat to start the show. Terry, Deshaun wants to know how many head coaches the Falcons have from 1966 to 2006. Off of a whim, I'm just gonna say 10.
No.
More than 10?
I'm gonna say more than 10. Okay. I'm gonna say more than 10, less than 20.
Definitely less than 20. We are not the what's that? You know, some of those other teams that we've seen before. But
yeah. Well, we've been in existence for 50 plus years, so I'm gonna go with 18. I don't know what the answer is, and hey man, you can. Oh, okay. LaMarcus went with 19. I see you, LaMarcus. I see you. Dre the boxer said 9. Auntie Pam said 8. I'm gonna go with 18. Deshaun, if you would let us know, I'd appreciate it. And just on a side note, had a side chat with Deshaun, and he is making a movie about a dance group that he was in. It's ironic this morning that you said Yeek, and you said it perfectly. So for those of you who are not from the ATL, Yeek is the geek. I won't do that again. That was, for some of you old heads who used to be at that club.
Terry, could you just do that one more time, please?
Geek. But there's a dance that goes along with that. Jack wants to laugh so bad. I'm getting
ready to go ahead and I got it. Terry already starting it off.
Hey man, let's get it. No. But there's a club that used to be in existence a long time ago called Motions. It was a club specifically for teenagers back in the late 80s.
Club
And
Motions.
yeah. And that dance was on display there at its finest. So yeah, man. But anyway, Deshaun's making a movie about a 90s dance group. And so, I talked to him the other day. I figured I'd put it out there. Right.
So
And
it looks here that the Falcons have 19 head coaches.
oh, damn. Okay, so you got it, LaMarcus. Damn. I wonder. Damn. Well, I was one away. I don't feel too bad. One away, that was off the dome, as the old folks like me used to say. So, that's not bad. I was one away, but good. Congratulations, LaMarcus. And
fans hit that like.
Don, great question this morning. Great question.
Big shot to Sean Cosmo in the chat. That movement, that yeek movement was something serious because you had, dance groups in Atlanta that's still cranking it up to today.
There was one guy that I remember from that time frame, and first off, he was a great dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Great dancer. And anybody who was on that scene, you know who I'm talking about. His name was Thomas. I don't know his last name.
Mm-hmm.
But he was probably the best I've ever seen do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm old, so
cranking it up around the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh man,
around that historic Atlanta era, Freaknik time too as well.
Yeah,
the box Chevy era, the Cutlass and Rego and Monte Carlo area. You guys don't know about some of that stuff, man. It's out here in Atlanta, man. We cap it all off with the 96 Impala. I think that's when everything just flipped out here in the city. Big shout out to Pamela Johnson in the chat. Big shout out to LaMarcus Boyd in the chat. If you guys know, the Rise Up Tour fan club is going strong this season. LaMarcus is in a group chat that we shared some information last night for fans that's going to be traveling to Denver. So Marcus, oh yeah, as Marcus Boyd would say, checking in from Arizona. The West Coast crew is here early. Big shout out to the West Coast crew.
West Coast.
We have a lot of Falcon fans on the West Coast. We want to make sure that Falcon fans here in the South and all in Atlanta know we're deep. Like we have fans in New York, fans in Rhode Island. We have fans overseas, Canada, like everywhere. So big shout out to LaMarcus checking in right here. Dwayne Ruffin's out here. He said, "Get on the team builder, Jack." Man, this NCAA, man. Telling you, man, like
did you do it last night? Because I know it was a one.
Yeah, I put in some work, man.
Or whatever. How'd you do?
I put in some work, man. My road to glory. I got my quarterback. He's the quarterback right now. QB4 at Georgia. But I'm working my way up the depth chart. It's it's kind of different when you're not starting. So
okay.
Got to make sure I do my homework and keep my GPA up. So I can keep the interest levels of the coaches pretty high. But NCAA, man, it's a great game. But it has a lot of things I think they need to clean up right now. I think it looks like they kind of dropped. I don't want to diss the game, right? I don't want to go at EA for doing this, but it looks like they just kind of dropped their last beta straight into the game. They didn't want to go fix any patches or anything, from when they showed the demo to some of the fans earlier this year. Because I saw some glitches like in the game since I've been playing it, and I looked online to YouTube, and there's a lot of people that's been complaining about some of the things that NCAA has put out there. So, but for me, I haven't lost a game yet. I don't plan on losing a game. So, anybody want to play some NCAA later, let me know. Them dogs are going to be out there on the field.
My man saying, good morning, Lisa Shepard. Good morning, Jonathan. Good morning,
Falcon fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday. LaMarcus Boyd, Dwayne Ruffin, Dre the Boxer, Pam Johnson. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. Dre said, y'all should do Sports Jeopardy Fridays. I like the sports trivia. We can keep the sports trivia going. I mean, that's no problem here on One Time for the Fan. Dre, you're a fan. I'm a fan. We're all fans. That's what One Time for the Fan is about. It's from the fan, for the fan, right? You guys can use the channel here to talk. You guys have a good time, man. That's what it's all about here. Jonte's in the chat. Good morning, fellas. Check in from the Tesla factory. Wait a minute. Hold on. Elon Musk watching us right now?
What?
Elon. Hey now. Big shout out checking in from the Tesla factory. Georgia, Texas boys in the chat. Good morning. One time for the fan with a Duke Jack Spate and T Will and Falcons family. Big shout out to Carrie. Big shout out to Bodie.
Bodie!
I already know what it is, man. We're doing it big right here in this city, right? Atlanta, we got a lot going on. Training camp starts this week. Deadpool and Wolverine drops this week. It's about to be crazy here, right? And then we have the open to the public practice going on in Gwinnett and Beaufort. Then we also have the what else? August 2nd. You about to fight somebody, Terry?
No, man, I'm doing a Kirko chain.
Let me know. I want to end the podcast and come help you. What is I'm about to say shit, Terry? Because somebody called Eric Parker. I didn't know. I looked at my phone, looked up, and Terry's over there. You getting ready to swing on somebody? I thought somebody walked in on you.
Oh man, I'm doing the Kirko.
Put your dukes up. Okay, you putting your dukes up. Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, the Kirkos. Okay, the Kirkos. I'm with that.
I wasn't even doing the hey, you guys, come on. I wasn't doing that. I thought I was doing it right, but okay, I got to work on it. All good.
Marcus said, "Oh yeah, Tennessee will be playing our dogs before the Sunday matchup in Denver." Yeah. So for those of you heading to Denver, we already have a nice little watch party area set up for you all to come watch the Georgia-Tennessee game. The only problem is it's to be determined on the time. That's the thing I hate because you set everything up and then it's like, all right, cool. What time you guys coming in here? Well, we got to wait for the SEC to decide that. So it's kind of crazy, man. But hopefully the Georgia-Tennessee matchup, we'll be on the West Coast on that Denver game, so it's 2 hours behind. So hopefully that game was a 3:30 matchup, right? I don't see it as a 7:30 matchup. There's a big game that week 2 as well that should be taking that 7:30 matchup. So hopefully Georgia doesn't play the 7:30 game. We have our party, LaMarcus, that night, right? So if we have to turn it into a big-ass party, then we will. But, we love watching our Georgia games, too, as well. Georgia Texas Boy says 6 days left until training camp. Terry?
6 days left.
We're going to talk some training camp here shortly. I know you're excited, Terry. We had A1 on the show. What's up?
I can't wait.
I mean, let's get straight to it. I mean, we had A1 on the show the other night. We talked some camp competition battles. Yeah. We'll go over that shortly on a quick update for you all. But, Terry, how are you feeling, man? We've had so many podcasts. We've talked to so many special guests. We have a Sunday show, right? Then we have our Wednesday night show coming up. And then next week, Friday, we're talking training camp here on One Time for the Fan, Terry. But how are you feeling about this, man?
Man, I'm excited. I feel like a 5th grader, right? I'm going to take it back to elementary school on y'all. You know what I mean? You're in 5th grade. You're looking forward to the summer. You're not too young, but you're not too old. And you got 6 days left. And I'm going to take it old school because I grew up in the 70s and 80s. We had a full 3 months off. You got 6 days left until freedom, right? You're, counting down with your friends. You're planning on what you're going to do. And you just can't even concentrate because you are so excited. Oh, Deshaun said the answer is 14. Wow.
Wait, from 1966 to 2006.
Oh,
he got me. No, he got me.
He got me.
He got me. He said 2006. I went to the present.
I did not read because reading is fundamental. I did not read.
Damn it, Deshaun.
Damn you, Deshaun.
All right.
You're so good at what you do. Is that on me or him?
It's on us. It's on both of us.
Okay. For now.
Matter of fact, because we're on, you're on this side of the ball, I'm on this side of the ball. It's been reset. So I was going to call the 10-yard penalty on me and Terry for not,
for not reading
that question. Deshaun, we went to 1966 to present.
Yeah, we did.
Instead of 2006, but
damn it.
Calls offset.
It's the reading rainbow.
Redo first down. So we're back on it.
Riff, reading is fundamental.
Shit, LaMarcus boy said, damn it. Hope's crushed. Jeez. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. We got a couple things to talk about before we get up out of here. Georgia, Texas boy said, if y'all watch Beaufort football, be on the lookout for offensive lineman Marcus Uni. He's coming from Texas high school. His brother enrolled at UGA as an offensive tackle in December. Both nice. Let me go ahead and add him to my recruiting class in NCAA.
Let's do it.
trying to get my 3 and 4 and 5 stars up here. But I did notice, Terry, on NCAA, it's very easy to recruit when you're Georgia.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to do much.
No.
But when you're playing as one of the smaller schools in NCAA, you definitely have to send the house. You know what I'm saying? You got to do the follow-up.
Something like that.
It's tough, man. You playing as a 1-star school trying to get a 3 and 4-star athlete to show up or even answer your text message. That's tough. But it kind of shows you what happens off the field, right? Where some of these colleges are trying to get some of these players and the behind the scene things that it takes. Like it says, send him a DM or give him a phone call or call the friends and family, right? Take him to dinner or bring him around the camp, do a campus tour, right? Some of these schools, like they go heavy on these players. Like we talked about, Country, Bigelow Country's nephew, who's like the number 2, number 3 safety in the nation right now, who's going into his senior year. He has offers from all the top schools, right?
Good
so,
I said, good to be him.
I mean, that is good to be him. He's working on NIL deals and all this other stuff, but Country is seeing the same thing that we're playing on NCAA. How these coaches want to reach out to these big, top talented athletes around the country. And you see for even in the game, like for Georgia, it's good to go get players from Georgia. It's good to get players from Alabama, from Florida, around that area. And it's a little bit more difficult to get players from the West Coast because they want to stay on the West Coast, right? So you learn a little bit about NCAA, but we're definitely going to learn a little bit tonight. This morning here on One Time for the Fan. But Marcus Uni from Texas high school heading over here to Buford. So that's something to watch. And I think the high school that they're playing in this week for the open practice is out there in Buford too as well. So for all the fans is going to be out there. It's going to be a great time. Big shout out to Jordy Shepard in the chat. Morning, fellas. Jordy, let me know what game you're coming to this season. Please let me know what home game are you coming to this season, man. Got a surprise for you, Jordy. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button, Falcon fans. Let's get straight to it, Terry. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, man. How do we start the show? Start the show with Mr. 4K. Mr. 4K is who?
Kirk Go Chains.
Okay, you can do the dance now, Terry.
I can do it?
Yeah, you can do it.
I can't sit on the camera. Where are we? Here we go. I look like I'm fighting for real.
You see it?
Like those Angoras. Yeah, I see it. Wait. There we go. Yeah.
Too fast, Terry. Too fast. You got it.
It's like that. Bro.
You got to swing them. You got to swing them, Terry.
Swing them?
You got to swing. You got to first of all, you got to put the chains on.
Some music. That's what I got to put the chains on? Hang on.
Got to put the chains on first.
Hang on. Let me pull out my fake Kirko chain.
You got to get I think he had the stunner shades on too as well. You got to put on the shades.
I don't know where the shades are, bro.
Shit.
I don't know where the shades are.
Mr. 4,000, Terry, is ready. Most seasons with 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns. Yo, boy.
Am I going over here? This is where I'm going? Wait.
Shit.
This way? Shit. There we go. That was the
Iced out Terry.
That was the most awkward transition ever. Okay. All right.
Gosh, T. Will's in the building, man. Breakfast with One Time for the Fan. Falcon fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday. Put that on a t-shirt. Most seasons with 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns. Falcons posted this the other day. Your quarterback, your QB1, Terry. Kirk Cousins.
I'm fired up about this, Jack.
You fired up?
Let me tell you why. Because we got the talent.
Look at his face. Look at his face. Look, he looks determined in the picture. Like he looks like he's about to throw a touchdown right now.
And it's, as the young folks say, standing on business.
Shit, Terry.
Standing on business. Okay.
First down.
Season with 4K, 25 TDs, bro. With what we got, the triplets, and the speed we got that we added, oh my God. He might get 5K. He might go future on y'all. He might get 5K. I mean, bro, he's averaging really 45 to 4,300, somewhere in there. But, bro, with all the speed we got, and we got speed, right? And we got a running game, and we got an offensive line. And I just feel fired up about it because I feel like we're going to come out. And what did my boy say? Crush some dreams and hopes of some other NFL teams. We are going to, what is that? Open up a can of whoop ass on about most of the teams we play. Like I say, I got us going 12-5, 11-6, somewhere in there. I think this is going to be a very good team. I think they're going to accomplish some great deals, some great things, and I think they're going to surprise some people, man. We have what we have sorely been missing. We got a running game. We've had a running game. We've had the triplets. We added speed to it. We added Kirko Chains to it. I feel like this team is going to dominate, and I feel like Mr. Kirk Cousins, can't talk today, is going to be front and center. So I'm fired up about it, Jack. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Like I said, I'm like that little 10-year-old kid that's looking forward to the summer. And yeah, man, I'm excited. What say you, Jack? How you feeling?
Hey, look here, Falcon fans. You got Mr. 4K in the building. You have a quarterback who can get the ball down the field. Past couple of years, we've had those games. The upside down Falcons throw from Mariota. I think those of you remember.
But
that game in Carolina was a tough one. The butt fumble, that shit was crazy. The problems that you had here in Atlanta the past couple of years, you know, a lot of it revolves around the quarterback situation. Raheem getting here and mentioning to the fans, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of the quarterback situation. Went out and got two of them. Got you a veteran, got you a rookie, but you have a guy who knows how to get the ball down the field. He knows how to go through his reads, right? He knows how to coach. Not coach. He knows how to, he knows how to coach up younger talent too as well in the NFL, such as Casey Washington, Drake London. We have a guy who's 36 years old. He's been around the game for a minute, so he can help out some of these guys. He's a leader, right? So that's why you have a QB1 now that you can trust here in Atlanta with Kirk Cousins. 4,000 yards, 25 plus touchdowns since 2015. As we head over here to Kirk Cousins stats, I mean, we've talked about it, Falcon fans. It's kind of like Matt Ryan again, right? You're getting that feeling back of having a guy who can give you 25 plus touchdowns, 30 plus touchdowns, less than 15 interceptions. I mean, his 2015 season, 4,000 yards, 29 touchdowns. His 2016 season, remember our 2016 season, Terry?
Mm-hmm.
Well, his 2016 season was 4,900 yards, almost hitting the 5,000. Wow. Going for 25 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Notice the touchdown to interceptions ratio with Kurt. 2015, 29-11. 2016, 25-12. 2017, 4,000 yards again, 27-13 on the touchdown interception ratio. Then he was over there in Minnesota, 4,000 yards again, 30 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. 3,600 yard season for Kurt, 4,200 to follow, 4,200 to follow, 4,500 to follow that. And then on pace last year for probably another 4,500 yard season.
No, I'd say he was on pace to 5,000.
5,000, wow.
Yeah, you got to look at it, right? He went out at game 8, right? 23-31.
23-31, 18 for 5, and 63.2 QBR.
So he was on pace for 49, 53, 37. Damn. That's a lot of yards.
You also talking about 33 touchdowns in 2021 to 7 interceptions, 29 touchdowns to 14 interceptions in 2022. And Terry, you talked about it, 18-5 last year.
Man. Yeah, man. And we got this guy, Falcon fans.
Yes.
This is the guy that will be leading our offense. So if you're not excited, get excited, man. Get excited, get active. Let's go, man. Let's go. We got what we needed. And hey, man, we got this weak ass NFC South. I think the NFC South is going to be like cakewalk for us, right? It's bro. I feel so good about this. I feel like the night I met my wife on the ride home, right? So, you know, those of you guys who, you remember the club scene, you go out to the club, you meet this baddie, as you say, right? And you're driving home. I don't know. I ain't been single in 30 years. I'm just telling you what I would imagine it'd be like. Because, you know, back in our day, we would call somebody, y'all text or Instagram or whatever the hell you do, right? But you're on the way home and you're like, man, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, dude, when I
You
met
met the one.
when I met my wife, seriously, seriously, I'm at Club 112 back in the day. Those of you Atlanta folks who've been there for a while, you might remember it. And this is when Club 112 was a circle, right? So you literally, and it rotated.
What by any chance was Deshaun in there with the Yeek Boys?
Don't know. I don't. He might have been.
Because Motions wasn't too far from there now.
Might have been. I don't know. But I walk in, man, and first off, I'm kind of a little tipsy off that liquid courage, right? Because in real life, I would not have approached. My wife was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. About dude, she was drop dead gorgeous, and she walked by me, and like normal T. Will would have never approached her, but I had that liquid confidence, so I was like, hey, come on, and the rest is history, as they say. But going home from that night, man, I felt like on top of the
You do remember that night well. What were you drinking, Terry?
I mean,
what was it? Was it it wasn't a beer, obviously. I mean, he wasn't having no
uh,
Budweiser, no Heineken or nothing.
combination of Long Island iced teas.
Oh,
Had a little Cisco back then. Those of you who remember Cisco, what it was, called a liquid crack. It's
sipping that strong over there.
Yeah, man. You don't. Cisco sneaks up on you. I don't even know if it's still in rotation, but it's so syrupy sweet. You don't taste it until you try and get up, and yeah, it's a bad scene. But anyway, I'm walking around, and I don't know if you've seen those Spike Lee movies where like they don't walk, they kind of glide. That's how I felt seeing her.
Shit.
Right? Like
the boy Terry sliding on the scene.
Yeah.
Take us back, Terry. What was the car?
The car, oh shit. At that time it was probably, and because this was 92. So I think I was driving an 86 Cressida. It was nice. It was nice. I kind of, no, I didn't have my shit together, but I could fake it. I was a good faker. But yeah, man. So, walked up in there, man, and, talked to her, whatever. And she was beautiful. And I don't think she liked me much. I mean, she did. She danced with me, but she was walking away because some other things that happened that I won't get into. But I was like, hey, girl, you forgot something. She said, what? I said your phone number. I'm not leaving. I'll be in here all night. I did.
Whipping that presidential idea?
Hey, I did, right? And
hold on, mama. Hold on.
It worked. Now it's funny because when she retells the story, she's like, well, my friend gave you the number. You gave me that number, Kim. Whatever. But yeah, man. But no, I feel like I did that night, man, just anxious and excited. And I just cannot wait to see what this Falcons team can accomplish, man.
Did you do, by any chance, did you do like the holla, holla, holla from Dave Chappelle? Let me holla at you. Holla, holla, holla. Holla, holla, holla. Did you hit one? Did you do one of those?
Nah. You know what's funny? You know what was playing?
Terry was a smooth criminal, man. I bet Terry was out here just on the scene. Just
man. I had no game whatsoever. But I tell you what was playing. So there's a song by Luke called Doo Doo Brown. Those of you ATL, you remember it. That song was playing, and I'm dancing with my wife, and she's all prim and proper. So I'm trying to get active. You know what I mean? I'm trying. I'm doing it. I'm getting after it, bro.
Boy, is he getting active?
I'm trying, and she's like the
little
whole
Blade Brown, little Duncan Penderhughes.
Right. She's like pushing me back, and I keep trying because I'm trying it. I'm bro. Hey, your boy was trying to get in there, and but hey, it worked out in the end. It worked.
That was good times. It did work out in the end. But Terry.
Yeah,
for the Falcons, if we fast forward to January with Raheem Morris, with Kirk Cousins, with this newly revamped defensive line, is it going to work out in the end for us? Is this the season that we can say, hey, man, we can turn some things around? Falcon fans can see a positive impact from what Raheem has done. It's going to be a division-winning team. It's going to be a playoff racing team. Is that what we're getting here, Terry?
That's what we're getting, sir. I definitely think it's a playoff team. I think I know we can win one game. I know we can win one game in the playoffs. I'm pretty confident we can go on a run contingent upon how things play out.
Training camp starts July 24th.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really good team, man. I think this is going to be a great offensive team, but I think our defense is going to surprise some folks. I really do. So.
Dre the Boxer said an 86-1. Them presidential, man.
Cressida. It is a Toyota.
He whipping. Oh, yeah, the Toyota. You was whipping like this.
It was Toyota. Yeah.
You
It
hit one
was
of these.
nice though. It was nice.
Hitting one of those moves. I thought you was in that big boy, that swing, that big boy Vole. You know what I'm saying? Hitting on them.
Nah.
Little UGK style over there, but I guess Terry was just I'm just gonna park right here. Park right here.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But hey, man, that's what's happening, man. Terry, that was a great story for Falcon fans in the chat.
I appreciate
we've gone back in our minds sometimes to the past and remember certain things, right? To get back certain feelings, right? But here in Atlanta, man, we don't want to remember what happened last year, right? We don't remember what happened the year before. It's been like, what, 5-6 years now since we haven't made the playoffs? So let's focus on the future, right? Let's focus on what Raheem has going forward now, what Terry Fontenot has helped build here in Atlanta. Don't forget, coming up, I think by 2020, late 2025, 2026, even the Home Depot backyard might be gone, right? Atlanta's going to be changing, right? What you guys are going to be seeing, see the hotels that's coming up around the stadium, the entertainment district that's going to be up around the stadium. So your tailgate experience, like that whole Atlanta vibe that you guys got in the past, is going to be changing for the future, right? Now, there's going to be some areas to still tailgate, but it's going to look a little bit different in a couple years, right? So just be prepared for that. We talked about it here on the channel. So Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, and hit that subscribe button. Philip Crawford said, I'm late. What I missed? Oh, we talking about Mr. 4K.
Kirko Chains. That's what we talking about.
Big shout to Kirko Chains, man. Big shout to Michael Penix too as well. Big shout out to all the Atlanta Falcons who's trying to do the best they can coming up this week to make this 53 and take this team to the next step. So we're going to be here every single step of the way. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. T-Will.
Yes, sir.
I know you got for my ATL Sports, man. How's everything going on over there on the channel?
Everything's going well, man. Day by day. I'm working at it, and it's the building stages, but we're having fun. I think right now my concentration is on good content and a good show rather than just pump out. I try and let's have a good show, man. Let's have a show that if I go back and watch it 6 months from now, it's still relevant. People still want to see it. We don't concentrate on the fad. We're more about fashion. You know what I mean? Meaning that our content needs to be good. So that's what we're looking at, man. That's what we're focusing on. And hey, man, like they say, day by day. So
for my ATL Sports, man, you do a great job over there. You have some up and coming podcasters too as well who have joined you on the channel. And then of course you talk Hawks, you talk Braves, you talk Falcons, so people can get a little bit of everything, not just showing up over there with their Falcon colors. They can have on their hot socks. They can be sitting there with their baseball bat, and they have their football helmet on when they sit over there listening to for my ATL Sports.
They can do it all, bro.
Terry, is this the car that they shot Ricky in? I think you remember.
Yeah, in Boys in the Hood. I think it was the Corolla and the Cressida they were similar back then. I think the Cressida was the upscale model. But I mean, it could have been. It was one or the other, Dre. It definitely was one or the other. I don't know, but he's in the back, and that's when he's like Ricky, and he shoots.
Oh shit, that is the car. I think that's the car that they pulled up in when they got Ricky. Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah, man. They
got. Hold on, Terry, was it one of these?
Let's see.
See if I can get it here for you.
On the screen. All right.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Ricky.
My boy Dre the Boxer is on it today.
He is. Ricky.
Wait, StreamYard is StreamYard, and give us a second.
He from Crenshaw Mountain.
Ricky. That was it right there.
I think it may.
Is it right here, Terry?
Yeah, it may have been. It may have been that. It may have been. So mine was like the blue one down here where it says in the middle, second level on the middle. That was mine. On the second one. Below that, Jack. Below that.
This one?
Right there. Yeah, that was mine.
Terry, I don't want to take you back now. I know you're looking at this car like, where the hell is that damn car? You probably left a stash in there.
No, I was in an accident in that car. I was almost lost my life in that car, but glory to God, I was all right, man. I walked out of it with not nary a scratch on me. I was actually driving home, quick story, from seeing A Few Good Men, and it was raining, and I hydroplaned, and this was on 285 south coming back, I go across the highway, hit the median, come back across, miss an 18 wheeler by that much. Now I
Mm.
hit some things because when I got out of the car, I didn't have a trunk. I did not have a trunk, but I walked away with nary a scratch on me. But I remember driving, home going, "You can't handle the truth. Who's
Shit.
gonna do it? You, Lieutenant Weinberg. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know. That my existence." Yeah, I'll stop there. But yeah, man, it was it was an eventful day, man.
Yeah, you could be an actor, man.
I wanted to be back in the day. I did, but my head is so big. I don't know that I'd pass the screen test. You know what I mean?
Lamarcus Boyd said his favorite movie, Few
Well,
Good Men.
and let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Ah, ah, of not knowing what I know, that my existence, while gross and incomprehensible, saves lives. I have neither the time nor the inclination. Yeah, man. I forgot the
We
rest of
got
it.
somebody who can remember lines like that just off of the. Got
Yeah,
to
man.
get you an actor. Got to
Back
get
in
you a
the day,
director or producer or somebody in here.
bro, I really did want to be an actor back in the day, but
And
things
Lamarcus
work.
Boyd says, "Surely you haven't pinned this nation's hopes and dreams on a phone call."
Yeah,
Lamarcus Boyd knows his. He
yeah,
knows his Few Good Men lines too as well.
yeah, he did. Yeah, yeah.
Camp battles, Georgia, Texas boy. What's some camp battles y'all looking forward to see? Me, it's edge 1 and 2, wide receiver 2 outside, and cornerback 2.
I'm looking quarterback too. I'm looking for that defensive line, man. I think they're going to get after it. Oh my God, that defensive line, that's going to be a battle because somebody's going to get let go. That somebody's going to swipe up before the ink is dry. Like we're going to lose a starter. That's how good we are. We're gonna, and what I mean is, we might cut somebody that on another squad. They may pick up a starter. So
you have some guys here who might seem as though they are backups, but like Terry just said, they could definitely end up as starters on another team. As you see the depth chart here, unofficial, Scott Karisic does it. Getting ready for training camp this week. Will any moves be made? I see some people's been talking about, hey, let's try to go get another edge rusher. I think what's that? Who's that? Stephen Gilmore mentioning that he still wants to play the cornerback.
yeah, I saw that,
Um,
and he was like, "You think you're telling me there are 35 other corners better than me?"
he's starting to get like Cam Newton a little bit. You know how
I,
Cam Newton was saying that?
Stephon Gilmore. I mean, is it? Do we need to have the conversation with him, Jack? Do we need to sit him down like Rocky and Apollo and Apollo 4 and be like, "Hey, Apollo, you're a great fighter, but that ain't us no more. We're like regular people now. We can't
Shit.
what we used to." You know what I mean? Does that, or does he still have it? Does
It's
he still have
possible he could still have it. Other NFL teams are not, hitting them up. I don't see why, fans have to go at the Falcons. You guys need a CB2, not Clark Phillips. Go get Stephen Gilmore. Like, let Raheem and Terry and them build this roster and do what they have to do. Is there possibility that they will sign somebody in the next couple of weeks or right before the season starts?
Probably.
Probably. Some people are thinking that there's a veteran out there they're looking at who doesn't want to go to training camp or something like that. They'll get showed during preseason. And,
We talk about
their body of, I don't know. What it is. I mean, people have been talking about it, but, their body of work will kind of just, show that they don't necessarily need to be in here for training camp. But then some would say, yes, you want to be in here for training camp because this is the team that you're, going to be working with this season. You just don't want to just plug and play on preseason week 2. Right. But then again, that's how moves are made in the NFL. Players get cut from other teams. Other players pick them up. But there are some names out here that possibly could become, a member of the Falcons. But we'll wait and see. But the cornerback battle, Clark Phillips, that CB2 spot, Antonio Hamilton, Kevin King, Harrison Hand, D. Alford, Mike Hughes. So fans are looking at that spot thinking, is it really Clark Phillips' starting spot this year? Is he going to be the CB outside of AJ Terry?
Yeah, I think it's Clark's to lose. I do. Now, I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not down at Flowery Branch having conversations with Terry F. Baby. But Yeah, I feel like it's Clark. The way they talk about him, I feel like it's Clark's to lose. Uh,
Hmm.
what will it end up? Don't know. You could have Mike Hughes in the slot, although that's the Alfreds. I really feel like that when you talk about the slot, you're talking D Alfred. When you talk about cornerback too, you're talking Clark. You know that's how.
That's that's how I kind of look at it, Terry. AJ Terrell is your one.
Yeah, yeah.
Clark Phillips would be your two, unless they see something in camp coming up this week, or going to that Jacksonville game where, because Jacksonville has that, that new wide receiver trio they have down there. So I guess they're banking on Trevor Lawrence getting those three wide receivers the ball. I guess they got Gabe Davis and whoever else the other two guys are. But that's a game we got to watch for Clark Phillips. He's going to get a lot of PT that day, because this is your second-year cornerback. You just don't say, oh, he's good to go ready for week one based off what you've seen last year. He's going to be getting a lot of snaps this season if he's your CB2. AJ Terrell's been in that role. We know AJ is going to be ready, right? We know who he is. But Clark Phillips is going to be one to watch for, Falcon fans, starting at training camp this week. Anything that you hear about Kevin King or Antonio Hamilton, because don't forget Antonio Hamilton now, he has some experience as well, right? I think he's played like more than 40% of his snaps in recent years with the teams that he's been on. But he also has experience. Even Harrison Hand has some experience. The only difference is Kevin King and Harrison Hand, they haven't played football since 2021, I think it was.
Something like that. Well,
Because
yeah,
there's a couple players we mentioned: Kevin King, Harrison Hand, Eddie Goldman, a couple players that hasn't played on
we,
an NFL team for a couple years now.
we love giving second and third chances, Jack. That's who we are.
You know what? You have people that's work with them too as well. Don't forget Harrison Hand came from the NFC North,
That's
where
true.
Jerry Gray was. Kevin King came from the NFC North too as well with the Packers, where Jerry Gray was. So when it came to secondary help, I mean, Jerry Gray probably was one of the reasons why, these two guys who were, sitting on the sidelines are now here in Atlanta. But it's something to watch for. Remember Jay Rogers with Eddie Goldman too as well,
Mm-hmm.
who has a little bit of connection there. Eddie Kane. We continue to mention Eddie Kane.
Junior. Nights like this, I wish raindrops would fall. Eddie, you're embarrassing yourself. Come on. You think I need a handout?
This man Terry is going full
Uh,
Emmy performance tonight.
I'm on
Give
one.
Terry a round of applause, please.
I'm on one today. I'm on one.
Please.
I'm on one today. Yeah.
Line for line, like you're sitting there watching the movie. Like you're sitting there just who just said that?
Hey man, I used to watch him like that. I don't watch him like that anymore. I'm old and I probably don't remember. But back in the day.
Georgia
Eddie
Texas boy.
Jr.
Eddie Kane Jr., Georgia Texas boys in the chat. So much variety on this line. Yeah, the defensive line is built up. The offensive line is ready to go. Don't forget about the consistency too as well. You got some guys that's played together for a while now. Even Bergeron, who was drafted last year, is going to be back in that starting spot. So feel good about your offensive line, right? LaMarcus Boyd said, what's the hype around Brandon Ayuk? I don't see no hype otherwise than, he's just they got these new receivers in the NFL now, right? It's not your Randy Moss and Calvin Johnson no more, right? Now, Brandon Ayuk came from a system where San Francisco's pretty decent with him, right? And he has a lot of experience, right? So any team that goes to get Brandon, they're gonna get a guy that's gonna come out there and give it his all, right? Don't want to hate on him, but he does have a price tag that if the Falcons wanted to do it, they'd have to go restructure and make some, contract updates to a couple people. But he would definitely come in and be your. Some would say he's your one. I don't want to take that away from Drake, but
101A, yeah, no doubt about it. I mean,
now you can set up your wide receiver core though. Brandon, Drake, Mooney, Moore, and we keep going. But I don't know, Terry. Brandon, I don't think the Falcons would make that move just right now.
I don't think so either. Because honestly, I mean, if that's the case, why sign Darnell Mooney?
Yeah.
And look, I'm not saying that if they do it, I'm all over it. I'm excited. Let's go. Let's kick.
If your third and fourth string wide receivers making that Mooney money, like, oh shit, you got an expensive ass team over here.
Yeah. And honestly, if you're gonna make a move like that, you probably need to make a move on defense. Like I think our offense is pretty good to go. The way we are. Let's look. We got some studs here. Let's develop them.
Right? I'll say this:
we got some studs here. Let's let them get in and look. Drake is great. but he has so much more in him. Kyle is great. He has so much more in him. Bijan is great. Let's use what we got, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna spend that kind of money where you gotta do that. Let's go get an edge rusher. Or let's go get a corner.
Another corner. I'll say this, Terry. If you didn't have Kyle Pitts,
Yeah.
and you had just Drake, and it was Mooney Moore, yeah, I go get Brandon Ayuk.
Absolutely.
If
Agreed.
you didn't have Kyle Pitts,
Agreed. Agreed. Like you say, Ayuk is a Shanahan receiver, which means he is precise in his route running
mm-hmm.
because Kyle demands that. If you play in a Kyle Shanahan system, you're going to play. Your routes are going to be precise. You're going to be where you should be at the time you should be doing what you should be doing. If it's a 5 and out, it's a 5 and out. It's on time. You're there. Your head's around. You're looking for the ball. It's not 7. It's not 6. It's not 4. It's 5. Kyle is very precise. So yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for that, that's fine. But to me, I mean, look, if they did it, I ain't complaining.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not complaining. But you really do have other needs at this point that, if you're going to make a move like that, let's go get, Ngakwe, which I know
That's
it's not apples.
it's
It's
a
not.
splashy move to go get Brandon. That's a splashy move.
It is. It really is.
Especially with his his age too as well.
Yeah.
And he's been performing well with the 49ers. So, and he had Brock Purdy over there. So any system you're going to put him in now, he's definitely going to fit into that new system. But he's still he's still a good player. I ain't gonna hate on that.
Great player. He's a great wide receiver, right? Because again, he's durable, he's tough, he can catch the ball, he can do something with it once he gets it, he can run, he's dependable, he knows where he's supposed to be, and he's gonna be there. He's good on sight adjustment, he's good on route adjustment. He's just a very great receiver. I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying that at this point, do you think that'd be overkill? Like, because if you got Brandon, if you sign Brandon Ayuk, you're probably going to trade one of your other receivers for some defensive help. I would.
I mean, that's now you got to look at your wide receiver room and say, damn, we're stacked over there now.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bringing in Brandon. But it does seem like a bit of overload when the guy got a guy like Kirk Cousins. Now, I will say if, 2 years from now, you're trying to revamp your wide receiver room and Michael Penix is in the building. Oh, yeah, go get a guy like Brandon. I think they seem comfortable with what they have, right?
Yeah.
I think ready to get the ball to Mooney, get the ball to Moore. Behind the scenes, it looks like they wanted Mooney. You saw the trade for Moore with Ritter. So they went early and started getting their wide receivers to build around Kirk so Kirk can get in rhythm. And that's the cool part about, what the Falcons did. They went and got Kurt his guys early so you could start working with them. Yes. It wasn't a late decision like right now we still need a wide receiver too, or right now we still need a third or a fourth target. Kurt got his guys. He's studying tape day in, day out. There's been talks of him being one of the hardest working people in the building, getting there first, leaving late. That was back there in OTAs and all that stuff. But I guarantee you Kurt is probably still watching tape, watching film. Remember the situation with him taking the guys down to Gruden, down to Gruden's house to go watch him film down there. Who knows what was talked about down there, right? So that's also big because you're learning as well with John Gruden, who's a Super Bowl winning coach too as well. So it's good when, Kurt can, like I say, coach up some of these young guys, be a leader, and that's what you're getting here with a quarterback like Kirk Cousins. Georgia Texas boys said, can't nobody sing like Eddie Kane. Shit.
Kane Jr. Eddie Kane.
TDP Mojo's in the chat. Big shout out to TDP Mojo. He's also been on the podcast too as well. So a lot of the special guests, Falcon fans, Falcon friends, man, you all are great. It's good to have you all here in this chat. TDP Mojo said, I think we're going to be all right. I'm definitely excited about this season. Every time TDP Mojo was on the channel, he's been on here twice. He's always excited to talk about the Atlanta Falcons. So great to have you back here, TDP Mojo. DSGB Hall, another West Coast Falcon fan, is checking in. He said, good morning, fellas. Big shout out to DSGB Hall in the chat. Getting ready to wrap up this show here. LaMarcus Boyd said, Kyle working that wide receiver and tight end. Scary hours. It's actually pretty big to know that, they're saying it to the public that the Kyle Pitts would be, in that role. But we already knew Kyle Pitts was going to be in that role when Kirk Cousins got here. The jokes about the number swap, the jokes about somebody texting each other and all that stuff. Kyle got his guy. Could be a reason why Kyle's still here in Atlanta, right? We want to make sure that Kyle can eat this season. 800 yards or more. We got to get 1,000. 800 yard more or more. Like Uncle Steve said, you don't got to give me 42 sacks. Just win the game. If the Falcons make the playoffs this year with 36 sacks, Falcon fans shouldn't be upset. We made the playoffs. If we won the division with 30 sacks, Terry, if we won the division with 27 sacks on the season, would you be upset?
Not at all, sir. Not at all.
It'll be something to be a little bit concerned about. Hey, 27 sacks, the defensive line, we got to draw up more pressure. We got to do something. Mm-hmm. But we won the division by 5 games. What the hell?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can't be upset about that. So you don't have to be upset if Kyle doesn't get 1,000. If he gets 850 and 6 touchdowns, that should be cool. Casey Washington, he doesn't have to get 1,000. If he gets like 400 or 500 and a couple touchdowns, that should be cool. Bijan Robinson, everybody expecting him to go for 9,000 yards this season. He got 2 legs. Like, chill out. Like Bijan, we know what he can do. We've already said it. If he wasn't out that Buccaneers game last year, he probably would have broke 1,000. You can see it right there. There's a couple plays I think Desmond Ridder should have just, here you go. This belongs to you, Bijan, versus taking it upon himself. But that's another story. But as we move forward, have faith in Kirk. Have faith in the team. When it's Michael Penix time, have faith in what you have in the future. We have a young team, too, as well. I think we're still one of the youngest teams in the NFL. We talked about that on One Time for the Fan recently. Drake London, Casey Washington, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. Right. And then going forward, look at the future of your offensive line. Matthew Bergeron, Chris Lindstrom. Maybe it's Drew Dahlman who's going to be here for the long run, too, as well. And hopefully Caleb McGarry, because he was drafted along Chris Lindstrom, if he can, fill into this team correctly, if he can fit where he needs to be this year. This year's a big year for Caleb McGarry because now you're back with your pocket passing quarterback. If you mess this up, you know what's going to happen next year. Falcon fans ain't going to be dealing with it. They want to know first round. I already said it next year. Terry, I think in the draft, they're going to go target a tackle in the first round next year because of age too as well.
You have to. Well, for a couple of reasons, right? So one, I agree with you wholeheartedly. He has to have a great year because in 2 or 3 years, he's going to be Penix's blind side blocker. And that's a whole lot more responsibility. And you have to have a whole lot more trust in your blind side blocker than you do anybody else. Because you're literally putting the fate of your quarterback in his hands, right? So it's I agree. It's a big year. It's a very big year for Caleb. Agreed.
Falcon fans, you also have, looking at competition battles, you have that safety battle. Richie Grant, DeMarco Hellams, Micah Abernathy. What is going to happen in that role? Is it going to be DeMarco Hellams starting week 1? Is it going to be DeMarco Hellams getting team 1 reps coming up this week? First team reps. Is it going to be DeMarco Hellams going into week 1 against the Jags in preseason? That is going to tell a lot because fans want to see Richie, show up on the next level, but they remember the past couple of years of Richie Grant. And this is not me, I ain't got no problem with Richie. But then again, there's been some plays where some tight ends have, that man-to-man coverage. It's kind of tough for Richie, man. It's been, I don't know. It's just tough. But we're going to find out. People want DeMarco Hellams out there. And this week is going to tell a lot when training camp starts. The offensive line should be good there for competition battles. Of course, the depth chart battles is going to be big. Who's going to be your second right tackle? Who's going to be your backup guard? Who's going to be your backup center? So those competition battles will be pretty interesting. We want everybody to finish camp healthy too as well, right? Because we don't want to go into camp and say that this guy got hurt, this guy got hurt. We definitely don't want to hear that because everybody's so excited about this season. Your tight end situation, you got Kyle, you got Charlie. I think John Fitzpatrick is on there too as well, so he'll be good. Your wide receiver 3, 4, 5 will be something to watch too as well.
Well,
after your top 2 running backs, who's your third? Right? Is it going to be Jace? Is Avery Williams going to be the guy? Are they going to sign another running back maybe coming up this week? That could be something to watch for. Right? Special teams, kick return. Who's going to be your kick return guy? Is it Ray? Is it Avery?
It's Ray.
Well, you heard T. Will talk. Going to your defensive line. Tyquan Graham,
Yeah.
this,
Oh
this
yeah.
is where the matchups are
Oh,
going to start.
oh,
Taekwon, Street, Zion,
mm,
Lakel London,
mm,
Bradley Anand, James Smith Williams.
mm.
This is going to be a nice little training camp to watch. But like you said, Terry,
That's
players get cut,
mm,
players will get picked up. We
yeah.
have a pretty
That's,
stacked team. I think a lot of other NFL teams
bro,
are
that
watching us too as well.
that defensive line is gonna be Sparta from Greece.
Mm.
This is Sparta. Like they getting after it, bro. They are getting after it. Hey, that defensive line, that's Survivor, bro. Bro, you really got about 6 or 7 guys that can start. And obviously everybody can't start, right? So woo, I like that. That's what I'm most excited about. It's just seeing those guys get after it, and like I'm excited about the first time somebody tries to run the ball and they get some act right. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? They get some act right. Now, for those
Pads come out this week, man.
who don't know what act right is, yeah, just watch the Falcons defensive line. You get Big Eddie up in there in 2019, Eddie. It's when the running back gets popped and turns the other way, right? He goes up in there with a head of steam and bam, and he's
Well,
turned.
not too hard there, Eddie, because we want to make sure that our offensive players are gonna be ready to go week one. I know Eddie want to go out there and you know and smack the paint off some of those helmets out there. But Eddie, remember, we're all teammates. We're all teammates here too as well. There's been some fights at camp in the
I'm
past
looking
recent
forward
years
to the
as well.
fight.
A
It's not
little scuffles. You know what I'm saying? Nothing too major. Veterans sticking up for some of the younger guys. We won't be able to see that because we're not going to be able to do the open to the public training camp like they did in the past. But they have an open to the public training camp date, the 27th. In Beaufort, Georgia. So definitely want to head out there, have a good time with your family and friends. Go watch some Falcons football. Other teams have already started their camps too as well. And of course, the news about big shout out to James Blue hitting me up right now, Rise Up Tour Falcon fan. But other teams have already started their training camps. You heard the news about the Steelers cornerback will be out for a couple weeks too as well. That came down this week. I think he had a situation where he's going to be suspended. The Saints losing their starting offensive tackle too as well for the entire season. So that's big now. Remember we talked about this? There are teams that have to go get their offensive line together right now. They don't have the Jake Matthews and the Chris Lindstrom and the guy. They don't have that 5 together. They're trying to get people in place. Coaches are out there this week like, yeah, we got the Falcons week 6. They're going to kick our ass if we don't get this damn offensive line together. Because we're
gonna kick your ass anyway. How about that?
It is what it is. It is what it is. We just got to talk about it here. But Falcon fans, just like Anthony, just like LaMarcus, just like Terry, just like A1, we are all excited about this.
What's going on, Chris?
Coming season. Big shout out to A1 in the chat too as well. One of our recent special guests here on the channel. Fans want to see Richie off the team, but we will see.
Damn.
Hey. If Richie off the team, then that means Micah gets a spot to move up. Maybe Dane Krishnick, who came from the Titans, gets a spot to move up. Maybe they go out and they sign a guy. But looking at this team and a player's coach like Raheem,
he's going to be.
You might get the best out of Richie this year. You might have Richie saying, "Hold up, no, I got that. I got the tight end."
No, you gotta do it like your boy, man.
Who?
Hold up.
Sheesh.
Hold up. You gotta do it like Kendrick. To your point though, Raheem is great at maximizing, the output of his players. And hey man, streets, they're always talking, and I'm sure he's listening, and maybe he's gonna be like, hey, you never know. You don't know. You don't know, right? He could come out and be a stud.
Pam Johnson.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jerry.
The week of that joint practice with the Dolphins in the preseason game. I don't know that I necessarily want to get rid of Richie. I mean, you can start who you want to start, but are we saying that Richie is not better than 3rd and 4th string on? Is that where we are? I'm not ready to say that. I'm not ready to say that.
If he underperforms at camp, I'm sure Raheem will call it out. But you'll hear everything from the media. Big shout out to Daniel Flick too as well. He's been on the podcast. He'll have some coverage for Falcon fans that's going to be watching or listening from Twitter or wherever you get your Falcons news. So big shout out to Daniel Flick. But Falcon fans, it's been great talking Falcons football with you all. Don't forget, we have a lot going on this season, right? So Sunday night, we are back with another episode of One Time for the Fans. You can see on the bottom of the screen, you can follow on X at One Time for the Fan. We do post from time to time on X2 as well. Facebook, One Time for the Fan. If you're checking in from other sites, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, you can go ahead and check us out over there. If you're watching from YouTube and they're like, hey, do these guys have a YouTube channel? Yes, we do. It's YouTube, One Time for the Fan. It's right there for you. You can definitely subscribe to the channel. The Rise Up Tour Fan Club. Check us out everywhere. We're on all social media platforms. We have a big meeting Sunday, so we'll go ahead and finalize a lot of these events and things going on. For those that's going to Denver, we did pop the question in our fan club chat the other day, and we got a big response of a lot of fans going to Denver. So we have a pretty cool event for fans that's planned. That's coming in on Wednesday for the Denver game. So I'll explain more about that coming up on upcoming episodes of One Time for the Fans. So big shout out to the Rise Up Tour Fan Club. And of course, if you have Instagram, if you're listening right now, if you're watching right now and you have Instagram, head over to Instagram and go follow One Time for the Fan. I'll follow back. We have a lot that we're going to post on Instagram for One Time for the Fan. Things that you won't see here, things that you won't see on Twitter, things that you won't see on YouTube will be on Instagram's One Time for the Fan page. Like this week coming up at the open to the public practice, we're going to be posting a lot from there on the Instagram page. So if you want to see some of that, see some of the players, getting some autographs, talking to maybe Raheem, some of the coaches, all the cool stuff. We're trying to be like the cool kids, and they're on IG. As Terry will say so. Yeah, head over to the IG, One Time for the Fan on Instagram. And you definitely want to go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Yeah. Any updates? Was that a Falcon update? Or was that just straight ESPN?
Straight just NFL in general. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing, yeah. Brandon Knight. That's it. Nothing major. Just what he's gonna do.
Okay. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. T-Will.
Yes, sir.
Man, the floor is yours, brother.
Yes, sir. First and foremost, shout out to the fans in this chat. Once again, you guys show up and show out. We thank God for you every day. Without you, there is no show. And we always invite you to come back as we are excited about our Falcons. Thank God from whom all blessings flow. There's no possibility without this. Thank you, Lord. Want to give a special shout out to Jabri Harper. Jabri really, away from this, really words of encouragement regarding my mom. And I just want to give him a shout out because, he's got some stuff, family stuff he's dealing with. And I just think it's great that when, just how unselfish some people can be. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know he had this stuff going on. I'm not going to put his business out there. But I just want to give him a shout out because, Jabri's a good dude, man, all around. Mm-hmm. That's the thing about this chat. We have so many people that away from Falcons are just good people, just salt of the earth, good people, sit down, have a meal with them, just good folks. So I just wanted to give him a shout out and shout out to the rest of the NFC South. To them, I would say, sit down, be humble. Yeah, shut up. My left stroke just went viral. I'm in a Kendrick mood this morning, so stop the NFC South, sit down. Yeah, and of course, Jack. Hey man, shout out to my friend, Mr. Jack Spade. Thank you for having me, sir. This has truly changed my life, and as long as you keep inviting me, I will keep coming back. Let's keep having fun, and Falcons, let's keep kicking ass. And on a side note, my man Jack Spade here was playing soccer last night on Twitch. And Jack toasted somebody, man. Toasted him. Put him in a roaster. Gave him cake and bake and scored a few goals, man. So
what you do not know is that during the game, I don't know if you saw I put the controller down. Police showed up at my house. They was like, we got a call about about domestic disturbance going on over here. I said, no. I said, well, I don't know what's going on. He said, somebody called and said, you just beat the shit out of somebody on some game. Like, Esports, man, 11v11, man. So Terry, you was watching last night. You heard me in the chat talking to the team. I motivate others to do well. Like, yo, you got to do this. You got to do this. Like, we're trying to win. But you saw I'm playing with a good team. So a lot of times I don't have to tell them where I am on the pitch. Like, they know, hey, look, get worldly the ball. Like, you can see it.
That was first off, that's a great score and a great move, Jack.
Yeah, when I get the ball, it's 3-on-1. 3-on. I might even post a clip. It was 3-on-1. I was icing them.
Shook them.
Icing them. Body shot. Give me that off the chest. Motherfucker, grab my shirt. Get off me. Boop.
Hey.
Put him down with it. And everybody in the chat congratulate me. Yo, that guy's the greatest. He's the greatest player. No. But we had a good time, man. This was about having a good time. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody in the chat. Dre the Boxer, Marcus Boyd, Auntie Pam, everybody, all Falcon fans. We're doing this because we love the Atlanta Falcons, right? We want to make sure this organization knows that one time for the fan, you have our full support, right? We want to see Raheem go out there and really, really change this culture in Atlanta that we've had for the past 6 years. Atlanta straight. I'm talking about the losing culture that we had the past couple of years. It's time to get on the right foot.
Let's do it.
Right? Raheem has it. He has that presence. When he walks into the room, you heard it from Daniel Flick, right? You heard it from other people, Myles Garrett. Like, he knows how to speak to the media. He knows how to speak to his players. He knows how to speak to his coaches, right? And he gains the respect from people around him. So big shout out to Raheem Morris. Big shout out to Terry Fontenot and everybody in that organization. Once again, big shout out to my family. Big shout out to my friends. And we doing this here together, y'all. We're almost at 1,000 wow, but it's because of Georgia, Texas boy.
Yep.
It's because of Miss Carey. It's because of LaMarcus.
Yep.
It's because of Philip Crawford, Jordy Shepard. There's so many people I can name. Eric Parker.
Yep.
So many people. Kiki. Like, there's so many people that's just been a part of One Time for the Fan and has done a great job supporting not only the channel, but coming in here and supporting the Falcons, right? We even had a Panther fan in here like, yo, this is pretty cool. I'll listen to the Panther podcast, but y'all are pretty cool talking about the Falcons. He ain't got no problem with us talking about the Falcons. Because we didn't sit over there bashing him or anything.
Yep.
Mark Chaney, too, as well. Let me tell you something about Mark Chaney. Let me tell you somebody this dude right here.
Getting after it, man. He is.
Man, this guy getting on it, man. I'm telling you about when you see this dude on ESPN or NFL Network.
Don't be surprised.
I swear you're going to say, yo, we saw him on One Time for the Fan. Yo, we saw him on YouTube on his channel, too, as well. Mark, I remember Mark yesterday, he had 1 subscriber. Now he got like 1,000. I said, Mark, how the hell you do this?
Yeah, man. He's getting after it, bro. He is definitely getting
Mark is closing in on like 15,000 subscribers. Smitty!
Yeah, man.
Smitty!
Mark, let me tell you something about him. Mark is a good dude, one of the most unselfish people I know.
Yeah.
Always willing to listen to content and ideas.
Yeah.
There when you need him. So I got nothing but good things to say about Mark, man. That's a good dude. Good dude.
Mark definitely knows what he's talking about. I was on his channel the other day too as well. He had a quick pop-up, so we talked some Falcons. But he's also talking Hawks. You know what I'm saying? Mark, he keeps it real on his channel. Salute to you all. We're going to come up together, man. I'm telling you, man, when you get to NFL Network, when you over there talking to, Stephen A, just hit my live here, dog. Just hit me up. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say hi. You know what I'm saying?
Hit us up.
We got a lot going on, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I thank you all once again. And we'll be back Sunday night. We got a whole list of events to talk about coming up. Rise Up Tour Fan Club. We have just so much going on. We're here at One Time for the Fan as we close in on 1,000 wow subscribers. And we're going to continue this content. So, Terry.
Yes, sir.
Chat. Rise up, y'all.